just as much as her granddaughters who were around my age. One of my earliest and most embarrassing memories occurred at Aunt Mabel's house when I was 5 years old and slept over. I had a dream. You know that dream where you dream you were on the toilet seat, but in reality you were laying in bed? Yeah, I had that dream in Aunt Mabel's bed. I was horrified to awaken and realize that I had wet the bed. It's bad enough to do that at your own house, and I had done it in Aunt Mabel's house. But she was gracious and reassured me that everyone has that dream at least once. The Bible also says that we will know a tree by its fruits. What that means is that you know a person by the way they live their life. Although Aunt Mabel didn't know it, I was watching her. I watched the way she treated her husband and learned how to be a wife. I watched the way she worked every day at my school and learned that women could work outside the home too and help provide for their families. I watched the way she brought leftover food home from her job and gave it to those in need and learned how to use my position in life to help others. I watched the way she cooked for her family as a way of expressing love, and I vowed to do the same. Unfortunately, my peach cobbler will never live up to Aunt Mabel's. I doubt that anyone will be able to replicate it because the secret ingredient was the love she put into making it. Although I couldn't be with you today, I couldn't forgo this opportunity to share a few words about one of the most graceful women I've ever known. Indeed, she was remarkably graceful until the end. Even when her body was failing and her pain was her daily companion, she managed to muster up a smile and crack a joke to bring levity to those around her. Her humor invoked laughter that calmed our fears and dried our tears. Although she is gone from us, I hope we can find solace in knowing that this world, our world, is a better place for having had Mabel Parker in it. And whether you knew her as Mama, Grandmama, Aunt Mabel, or May, we are all better people for having been the beneficiaries of her love.
Good evening, friends and family. Giving honor to God and the pastor of this church. My name is Kaylin. I am Carla Chabelle's daughter. I didn't know Aunt Mabel, but from the things my mom has told me, I will use this acronym to describe her. She was marvelous. She was an angel. She was beautiful. She was lovable. She was an educator. She was precious. She was awesome. She was remarkable, kind, and aloof, righteous, and respectful.
Harris. Amy was part of the family. God bless her. Her brother said, Bo was right. A quiet lady, a lady that kept things on the even keel when you're at the house. You either respect it or you get out. James Smith and Barbara Daly, the girls, I remember as a kid, our first Dr. Pepper at the lake. I was going to sneak it out, and they may say, I'm skinny, Paul. She's a real blessed lady, and all of her life she lived and good. My mom and her mom were like two sisters. Doris and Aunt Mabel got along so good. The things they done together helped me, my brothers, my sister grow up in life. The family, her kids, grow up in life to do some of the best things to learn, to do the right things and not the wrong things. Get something done right in your life, and you'll always have a blessed life. God bless Aunt Mabel and all of you all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Priscilla, and I'm from Denison, but we live in Georgia. And when May would come to visit us in Georgia, it was always a blessing to have May there. And one day, Joyce and my daughter and May and I were going shopping. And my husband said, now you know you all can be out there all day long shopping with May because May can't keep up with you guys and you're going to have to come home a little bit earlier this trip. And I said, okay, I know that. We went shopping. I got tired. May was still going. Gina got tired. May was still going. And we went to the DSW. And I don't know how many of you know DSW is a shoe warehouse. And I'm really good in the shoe warehouse. I don't usually get tired in the shoe warehouse. But I'm just looking at the ladies' shoes. May looked at all the ladies' shoes. Then she started looking at all the men's shoes. Well, I sat down by now. Then she started looking at the children's shoes, and I said, Joyce, she's looking at the children's shoes. But you didn't hardly set May down. She could outrun any of us. She had the energy for days. And that's one of the things that I really remember about her visiting us in Georgia. I just thought I would share that.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Al, otherwise known as Prim by the family. Our Mabel was my heart too. It's hard for me to sit up here and talk about our Mabel. Some of the best times, I remember that back room we had, Bo. She couldn't come in the front. She had to come in that back room, that screen. And the other day when I'm gonna keep it brief because I'm not very good at speaking, and this is our Mabel. When I got the call Friday morning, I was sitting down having breakfast. And very seldom do I order pancakes. And that morning, I ordered pancakes. And I used to get off that bus every morning and go down Mabel's and have pancakes before school. Now, I don't know what that was. That morning, I ordered pancakes. And while I'm eating, I get the call that our Mabel was gone. And it blew my mind. I told Ann, and that night she told me, said, "You want me to fix you some pancakes?" But our Mabel was one of a kind. I mean, she took care of all of us. I mean, all of us. And I spent as much time at her house as I did at my mom's house, and my mom Al's house, wherever else I was staying. So, Bob, Bo, Marquita, Joyce, y'all ain't my cousins, y'all my sisters and brothers. So, that's all I want to say.
My name is Darren. I'm Darian's father, if you don't know me. I applaud y'all for being so strong because I've had a rough couple of weeks. And I just want to say that the family coming up, speaking about the memories and everything, I just had to get up and tell you I'm not family by blood, but no.
You are.
Just a second. Okay, so we're talking about, in my church, one of my things is it takes a village, to raise the kids, motivate them, and because it's so easy for a kid to be out on the streets and hear, okay, you're doing a good job moving this or whatever, here's an extra $25, whatever, just to keep them motivated. But there's a difference when you hear that positive motivation coming from someone who loves you and cares about you. And Miss Mabel always told me how much she loved me, how much she cared about me, how proud she was. And you don't really think about it, but you hear those things over and over and over until you start to believe it. And you start to believe it. And so we just had a bond. And I used to think that she was putting forth extra effort to make me feel. When I started getting phone calls saying, that's just the bond there, So, the last thing she told me was how much she loved me. She was proud of me. I just want y'all to keep that going, keep motivating each other, especially the young people. That's very, very important. That's all I want to say.
like to stand and say, to God be the glory. God knows best. And we're here for you. Whenever you need us, Joyce, you could just call on us and we'll be able to help you with that. And I'm going to sing this song. I played the tambourine and I didn't bring it, so just bear with me for a minute. This is a light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This is a light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This is a light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. You know this is the light of mine. And I'm gonna let it shine. Come on, y'all. This is the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This is the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. You know what's in my heart. I'm gonna let it shine. All in my heart. I'm gonna let it shine. You know, all in my heart. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. You know this is the light of mine. Yeah. I'm gonna let it shine. This is the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This is the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
I'm Beverly Penn, Mabel's youngest sister, a little lady who named me. My daddy named me one name, and that's what's on my birth certificate. But 2 or 3 days later, she decided that I should be Beverly. So I've been Beverly ever since. And I want to say some things. I was going to try to write a resolution, and all of the things that I was thinking about, I said, that's okay, it's already in my heart. So I'm just going to say a few things. And I hope I don't ramble, and I hope I don't embarrass you. She raised 5 children, and I had 5 children that I was trying to raise. And I was working also, just like she was. I would be sitting at work, rubbing this forehead, trying to figure out what all these figures were, and figuring out what I'm going to try to feed my kids when I get home from work. And I would open my door, and oh, it would smell so good in there. I said, I know who's been here. She would have a fully cooked meal and dessert in my kitchen. And I would bawl like I was 3 years old because it meant so much to me. Those were tears of joy. And I don't forget what people in my lifetime have done for me and my family. And when I say family, I mean extended family. I always remember those kind of things. But I also remember some of those that were not so kind. And I ran into those with 5 kids, raising 4 boys, and my precious 1 daughter. And I was telling my grandson when she was sick at home that she had taken a turn for the worse. I said the nurse thinks she possibly had a light stroke or maybe a light heart attack, but it didn't look good from the night before. And he said, now Mama, I know I raised him, that's the reason I'm Mama to him. He's my grandson, but he's mine. He said, now Mama, I know how close you were to Aunt May, you are to Aunt May. He said, but she's lived a long, beautiful life. And she had a productive, beautiful life. He said she raised all those kids and sent them out into the world. And they all became good citizens. And I said, you know, taking you to MLK, that's where we went to church. I said, it must have done you some good, boy. I said, you're wise beyond your years. He said, Mom, I was listening to a lot of things that people didn't think I knew. They didn't know what I was really hearing. He said, but a lot of that I got from you. So whatever he got from me, he got from her too. Now some people think that she didn't get angry. Oh, but she did. She was just a politician. She would. Oh, and when she said that, talk to the hand, cause the ears ain't listening. She did that because she ignored you 100%. I don't care what else you wanted to say. She had done what she was going to do, and that was forget it. I know what I have said, and it's etched in concrete, so you might as well go along with it. And she would get after me. She would be talking to me about some of those mistakes that I made in life. And I thought I was 5'9", and that's what I measured. But I was about this tall. And she got too big. And she never raised a voice. Never raised a voice. But she said what she needed to say. And not only did she say it, she loved it. She loved people and showed it. And I have something here that I want to read that I kind of put together. And I think my son is going to sing the song when I get to read it. But anyway. And it's entitled, the title is Little Did We Know. Little did we know that morning that God would call Mabel Florence Parker's name. In life, we loved her dearly. In death, we do the same. It broke our hearts to lose her. She did not go alone, for part of us went with her the day God called her home. She left us beautiful memories. Her love is still our guide. Although we cannot see her, she is always at our side. The family chain has been broken, and nothing seems the same. But God calls us one by one. as he called us one by one, he causes the chain to link again. So family, you are still family. We are still family. I have 2 other sisters that are here. Lady Jordan and Marcella White and myself. And I have my brother, Al White, and another brother, Napoleon White, that couldn't make it here today. But we are all family. We are her siblings. And if we continue to let her dash guide us, it will be a blessing for all of the little ones coming along. Because they need to see what type of person she presented herself to me and others. A lot of others. One of the nurses over at the hospital asked, how many children did she have? I said, well, she raised 5 of her own. She raised a neighborhood. I said, she raised all of these. There was several of us around in there. She helped raise mine. She helped raise lots of others. Not only at the daycare, just her daily lifestyle. That's what she did. She loved it, and she would help anybody do anything. This little reading was composed and read by her youngest sister, Beverly White Penn, Albertine White is my real name, but I'm Beverly all the I'm sorry that it's in that shape that just come out of Dallas a few hours ago. It's not completed. And I will give each sibling a copy of this and each adult grandchild.
For those that don't know, I'm Taylor. I'm Chris's oldest daughter, one of the twins. I'm sure you know that. I wrote this poem maybe an hour or so after Mary passed away. So yeah, for those that don't know, I went peacefully. I didn't struggle, I didn't suffer, so please, don't weep for me. I took my last breath, surrounded by those that I love most. And my family that left before me will guide me to my new homes. My life has been filled with both triumphs and troubles, but please don't leave my side thinking that your life has been reduced to rubble. Now you're free to live your life as you wish, and you no longer have to worry about me shaking with this. 95 years is more than most ever get to see, but it's the quality of my life that means the most to me. It's all the birthdays, the Christmases, and the Thanksgiving days that I want you all to remember. When your tears are heavy and your heart is tender, try to think of me at my best, not hooked up to machines, because that's how I will remember you when I rest, so serene. I didn't struggle, I didn't suffer, so please, don't weep for me. Just love each other and live your lives so you can go.
I'm one of the Favors daughters, and I'm bringing condolences from the Favors family. I have laryngitis. Usually I can talk loud. Since I have laryngitis, just bear with me, and I won't be long. But I'm speaking of the Favors family, and we always call this beautiful young lady Maybelle. Yeah. And you all are saying Mabel. So, but Mabel, just a beautiful lady. We attended this little school over here, and we would come over in the evenings as children, our cousins, any child, We could come over and get cookies, cake, sodas if she had them, and she would just share with us. Not only share something good to eat, but wisdom. And we appreciate that. And I remember riding the bus with Bev and Jane. It wasn't so long ago. But to ride through Platte, come on back, those were the good days. Also, Miss Maybelle took care of our nephew, and she had the daycare center, and his mother should have gotten up here and talked about that. It helped him to be the young man that he is today. She did a beautiful job with his early education, and we can appreciate that because it turned out to be pretty good. But he still has a way to go. But I just wish Miss Maybelle could have kept him a little bit longer. On behalf of the Favors family, we cherish the memories that we have. God bless you.
Hi, I'm Red. My name's Darian, but nobody ever knows that part, so. Okay, I might cry a little bit, it's okay. In the past 6 years, I've lost all my grandmas. Literally 6 years to the date. So, it kind of hurts me, to be saying goodbye to my granny. But I just want to say, I'm only 19. Probably I don't look it, I'm like 12. But in the years that I had with her, I remember when I was little, she used to tell me, well, this isn't my hair, but my hair's under here, and it looks just like this. But she used to tell me, you eat so many hot Cheetos, that's how your hair looks. I was like, no, Granny, that's not why. And then, every summer, we would go stay with Granny, me and the twins and JC, which all y'all were born, but we would go stay with Granny, and we could fall asleep at 8 o'clock on the floor, and we would wake up, and there would be 14 different blankets on our bed, and pillows that we don't know where they came from, and we would wake up the next morning, and there would be some burnt toast, and she would just tell us scrape off the blanket. And Granny, I played basketball here at Colbert. And when I moved back here, I was like, I don't want to be in Colbert. This is dumb. I was from McKinney, so big town. Coming to this is, culture shock. And Granny, the first few weeks we were here, we lived there. And she made me feel like, okay, Colbert's going to be fine. And in those 4 years I played basketball, Granny would come to my games when she could, when she felt like it was time. And she would clap and cheer, and I remember she would tell Mom, oh man, she's so fast, she was there 1 second, and now she's shooting the ball. And I transferred schools this year, and it's 4.5 hours away. And we woke up that morning and I said, Mom, I gotta go, I'm a ton late for Granny. And 5 minutes later, Granny's at my door, and she said, I'm going with you. And she did. We got there. It took us a little bit longer than it probably should have, but we got there, and Granny, I had my boyfriend helping me take stuff upstairs. Our hands are full because Mom was upstairs chilling. And so my hands are full, and my Joyce is taking pictures of Granny. And we were at the door, and I was like, oh man, I need someone to open this door for us. And so I'm waving down Granny, and I look back at Granny, and Granny just waved at me. I'm like, no, Granny, I need her. And she took off and helped us. But for all of you, there's not really many young ones in here, but for those that have your grandparents around, just love them and your parents, because so many times I sat down and just asked her questions about life and just talked to her. Got to know her, because when I was young, I was like, oh, I don't care, she's old, I don't care about old people. And then as I got older, and I lost my Mimi, and then I lost my grandma last year, well, I guess now 2 years ago, when I lost my grandma, I just was like, man, I gotta start spending time with my granny. And I did, and I got to know so many things about her, and like figuring out some of the reasons why I am the way that I am. And I mean, yeah, I got a temper. I got that from my other grandma. I mean, I don't know if you see the pictures of Paulette popping up, but her face is always mad. I mean, I learned how to, I get mad at people, and I've learned how to just, no, you got to take that down a little bit, how to speak to people, how to handle myself as a woman because of the way that she handled herself as a woman. And I mean, I know you're not supposed to like brag or boast, but man, my granny deserves it. She deserves it all because she was such a woman to be around. And I'm just so thankful. I mean, I know I've talked a lot, but like I said, my granny deserves it. And like my dad there, he was up here earlier, and my granny, I mean, first off, she says I look just like my daddy until I went to school, and then the first thing she said when I came back from college was, man, they must be feeding you good. And I said, okay, Granny. I mean, like they said, don't take it offensive. She's not calling me fat, but I mean, like she opened her home to us all the time, and like if I would come down there and my dad wasn't there, the first thing was, well, where's your daddy? I mean, you're here, so where's your daddy? Like she was just such a wonderful woman. And then when my grandma passed in 2013, we were scared to tell Granny, you know, because she just loved everyone and she loved my grandma. And I mean, whenever we told her that my grandma passed, it hurt her bad, but in her face, I mean, she held it all together just for me. And I mean, like I said, I'm just so thankful. I love my granny so much. And I know that her and Mimi and my grandma are all together. And I know they're going to take care of me and get me where I need to be. But I love her, and I thank you all for coming.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany, and I'm also a granddaughter. And I would just like to say that it was truly a blessing for me to be able to be with my granny by her side when she came home from the hospital and take part in her care. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I would do it again if I could. We had our good days, and we had our great days. And I tell you what, each and every moment that we shared was truly a blessing. And I love my granny dearly, and she is in heaven, and she's at peace now. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank all of you for coming out here this afternoon. I know that, you know, we've been here since the woods burned, the White family. And Joe Hartland and I used to be flying and wondering where Daddy and his daddy were. And then we get out there and stop the tractor and start playing. And then quiet right up on us. And that way, and it'd be terrible trouble then. But we have been a part of this community for a long time. We migrated all the way up from Cartwright. And so, you know, and family, you all have been talking about contemporary history. And Mojina, I was up on that hill a long time. I call that place Ignorant Hill. You was up there a long time. But all of what this lady has done came from the teachings of my mom and daddy. I'm the youngest boy in the family, and I used to get up every morning at 4 o'clock when they got up and go in the kitchen and drink coffee with them, because I want to know, I was too nosy. I want to know what is going to happen that day. So I get up and go and drink coffee with them. But, you know, and I'm not a Bible scholar either. But Mom and Daddy told me that there was a 10 Commandments. And if you follow that, you don't need much else. And they also told me, I remember them saying to me, God said, go to work independent. And when I get ready for you, I'll call you home. He assigned her 95 years of work. And then he called her home. She probably didn't ever tell you about the time, that first time that you all came to Springfield and got me in trouble. Because I was supposed to take one of Daddy's Prince Albert tobacco cans and go up on the roof and patch them. First night you was in our house, it snowed on you. It snowed on you. Then I got in trouble because I hadn't went and patched the roof. And, you know, Therese, she showed you how to dance, didn't she? But you know what? She and Daddy is up there now doing the two-step together. Daddy taught all of us how to dance. And so they're all up there doing the two-step. And along with Gus and Cleo, Mildred, Oja. I just hope I can join them one day. But I don't want to join them today. I had to give a speech at a national conference one day, and I said, talking to my friends, I said, man, what should I say? What should I say? He said, use the 5 Ds. I said, what? I said, I've been around a while. I said, well, what does that mean? He said, use the 5 Ds. Be brief, brother. Be brief. I'm going to be brief. She's up there, and it's all peaceful, and they enjoy themselves. Now, I want to know which one of you did she teach how to make sweet potato pies? Did she teach anybody how to make sweet potato pies?
She gets pretty close to that beach cover too.
All right, that's all, that's all.
This is really difficult for me because Miss Maybell to me is like a mother to me, and Barbara is like a sister. And I'm Rosetta Favors Lawson, and I was almost grown before I realized that we were not blood relatives. The whole time from first grade through 8th grade, I spent basically, I think every Sunday at Miss Maybell's house. And as often as Dad would let me, everybody knows as baby didn't let his girls stay away from home too much. But I spent as many nights as I possibly could at Miss Maybell's house. Miss Maybell always had a way of saying, Rosetta, with so much love. And she passed, it was a generational love. She not only loved me, but she loved my son. And I just have one son. And that's the son that my sister mentioned earlier. I was at Southeastern, a single parent, going to school, working. Al was there. Marcel and I were blading. And my sister Minnie and I were at Southeastern struggling. Miss Maybell was keeping my son during the day. I would get home late in the evening. But I knew my son was in good hands. He was just like with his mother, you know. And she didn't see him for years. And she walked up to him, and he somehow recognized her. He hadn't seen her since he was about age 5 until about age 18. But he recognized her immediately. That was the Holy Spirit. I mean, only a mother or a grandmother has that bond with a child that many years after and still feel that love and know and recognize that love. And all I can say is I love Miss Maybell. And she's not gone. She's just away. I'm not sad. I'm not sad. The tears you see and the emotion in my voice is that I feel blessed. My mother was called home when I was 7 years old. And thank God I had a loving father who reared me and a large extended family. But Miss Maybell was there too. And if I didn't mention her after high school, because Barbara was playing basketball. And I didn't spend as many hours at their home. But whenever I would see Miss Maybell at a basketball game, she would just hug me just like it was just yesterday. And she was still a very present love in my life. And whenever I'd come home to visit Dad or somebody, I would always get to see her as often as I could. But even in the absence, whenever I would see her, it was just like yesterday, because I was her child. She loved me, and I was always Roselle. And Barbara, you know, I love you. James, Laquita, Kevin, the rest of the family. Kevin's not here, I'm sorry. He hears me. I love you guys, and keeping you in my prayers. And just remember, she's not gone. She's just away. And you'll be meeting her again soon if you are a child of God. And just take comfort in the Holy Spirit's here to give you comfort and guide you through these days ahead. And if you need me, I'm just a phone call away. And I love you guys and pray for you.
Okay, now what we are going to do, I want everybody to participate with me because everybody here tonight won't be able to speak. So what we're going to do you all remember when you went to school? You remember your alphabet? Let's start. Everybody together, let's start. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Stop. That was Mama's love. J. Let me tell you why. Her first husband. What did his name start with? The second husband. What did his name start with? Her only son. What did it start with? And her son-in-law. Most of all, the man who will bring the word tomorrow. What do his name start with? J. There you have it.
I'm Jack. I'm Jason. Kind of debating whether or not I wanted to read this, but I wrote something. Your love was the best kind. It was woven seamlessly into the clothes you sewed by hands for the kids. It was the key ingredient in your famous peach cobbler and the many home-cooked meals you made and served to family and friends. The food you offered to the grandkids, even though we insisted we weren't hungry. Your love was the best kind. It lined your smile and was felt by your hands clasped around us in a hug or in a friendly slap to the face. It was felt when you stood at the door and made sure we made it up the road okay. And when you threw a quilt over us after we fall asleep so we didn't get too cold. Or when you offered up your bed to us every night during the summer because you wanted to keep us close. It was when you offered us one of your 7-Ups, knowing it was your last one. Your love was the best kind. It was a wave to the cars passing on the highway. Your presence at basketball games. You asking on our way out the door if we wanted something to throw over our arms so the bitter cold wouldn't hurt us. It was in any encounter with you, no matter how small. Phenomenal woman, but even renowned poets like Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes could not capture your grace, style, class, selflessness, will, humor, and sweet spirit. We will miss you, and your absence will be felt like the sun missing from the sky, but like the water, sunlight, nutrients, and care you put into your rose bushes out front. We too will bloom and flourish from your love. Which was like nourishment to our souls. And will continue to be even now that you're gone. And no love will compare because yours was the best kind.
Give all praises to God Almighty, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Respect to the pastor of this house and all the other ministers, to this beautiful family. She was a beautiful lady. I never called her anything but Granny from the day that I met her and she welcomed me in her home. And I was there quite a bit at one time, sometime almost every day. She used to say, well, girl, come here, let me tell you something. Sometimes it would take her 2 hours to get through telling it. That I remember the sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, the potato salad. I called her the white storm. That's the way I felt about Granny. She was a beautiful, beautiful lady. And you all were blessed to have her in y'all's life. May God bless you all. Thank you.
I want to sing a song. I've been trying to think about a good song to sing. This song just simply says, because when you try to figure out who people are sometimes, every good and perfect gift comes from above.
Yeah.
So God got his hands on it. And this song says, I learned